That is true. That is true. We also had the neighbors took down 5 trees this week as well, so we're not allowed to park at the house anymore. it's been a long week. I haven't slept a lot.
5 trees.
Yeah, 5 huge pine trees that have been. They said they were dead. I don't think they're dead. I think they moved in like 3 months ago, and they're just going through the things. And I think they were like, these are going to fall on one of the 4 houses around us, and we don't want to pay for it. They're not dead, but so anyway, that's been a lot.
Or the tree company told them they were dead.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, they put in solar panels. They're doing lots of stuff over there.
Well, that's why they had to take the trees down.
Probably also exactly so they get more
get some sun.
Yeah, the neighbor across the way is super pissed. She's a little old lady that used to have 5 trees covering her house, and now she's just completely open to the sun. Oh well.
An enterprising young fellow would go over there and try to sell her some solar panels.
Or some trees.
Or some blinds. Or a fence.
Yeah. Trees. Well, yeah.
Trees.
This old lady needs to part with some money. We know that much.
Yeah, exactly. She's not falling for the old I got a great investment for you, scheme. Or the IRS has your money and you need to pay me to get it back scheme.
Ooh, is that a scheme? I definitely would have done that.
I'm sure.
I definitely would have done that.
If it's not, now it is. You're welcome.
Internet.
Predators of the world. Yeah. All right. Let's do this.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk off with them.
That train is off the track.
Who doesn't love the bounce castle?
Hitler. Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is March 5th, 2023, and this is episode 637. Coming to you from the high school home of Jamison Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland. It's the Dr. Jason Triplett. This show, we're going to discuss a 2-1 week for the Pacers, including games against Dallas, San Antonio, and the lowly Chicago Bulls. Joining me this week are 2 of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from Asheville, North Carolina. He's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles. It's John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out this week to the day that wasn't. February 29th. It happens to be our one and only Tyrese Halliburton's birthday. And
shout out.
Yeah, shout out. And so they asked him when he celebrates his birthday, when there is no 29th of February, and he said the day before and the day after.
Nice.
Shout out.
Shout out, Leap Babies.
Leap Babies.
Shout out to Everett.
Leaping babies. Scary.
And that voice you heard is coming to you from Boise, Idaho, out west. It's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? Shouting out this week the New York City Cyclones, the girls 19 and under hockey team, who came up just shy today in the state championship, unfortunately, of which my niece is a forward. But good game,
wow.
And they still get to go to California a month to go play some more hockey.
Congrats.
Every hockey player's dream, go to California to play hockey. That's awesome. Good luck to them. Yeah. All right, before we start the show, just want to remind you folks that this show is brought to you by you. you can head over to patreon.com/undebeatables to support the longest running Pacers podcast for as little as $1 a month, and even higher levels if you like what you hear. If you want to hear more about New York State girls hockey, chip in $5 a month, you know? If you want an exclusive Xavier basketball update once a week, what was the price, Colson? $15? $10?
Yeah, I think it was $10 a month. I think.
All right, I think that's a steal.
Also, yeah, I mean, UNC Asheville won their conference today. We could talk about that if you send us some more money.
Yeah. We draw the line at UNC Wilmington, though. We will not. All right, Pacers had 3 games this week, 2-1 in this action. First game, Tuesday, at Dallas. This one was a barn burner. Win this game 124-122. Anti-shout-out to League Pass on Roku, who I'm watching this game. Pacers are up 2 with 6 seconds left or something like that. Goes to a timeout, and we're waiting. Game comes back, and it's final score. Pacers win.
Oh, no.
So we didn't get to see the last play. The most important play of the game. Okay. Anyway.
It was just Kyrie missing a shot. You don't need to see that.
Okay, good. I wanted to know. I love seeing Kyrie
I
miss
also
shots.
like watching Kyrie miss shots.
Actually, it is really fun.
For the Pacers, Halliburton leads the way in this one. 32 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds. Miles Turner had a good game. 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. For the Mavericks, no surprise, Luka Doncic, 39, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Game 2, Thursday, just down the road, across the road to San Antonio to play the Spurs, who are lowly, one of the worst teams in the league. And so the Pacers go in and lose this one, 110-99.
Showed them what's what.
That's right. Of note, no Tyrese Halliburton in this game, out with calf tightness. So Buddy Hield stepped in and scored 27. And Chris Duarte off the bench, 18 points and 9 rebounds. Good showing for him. But everybody else, not so great. And then game 3 today, a matinee against the Chicago Bulls. And I didn't write the score down. Pacers won 125-122. Halliburton, 29 and 11 in this one. And Mathurin off the bench, 17. So up and down week for the Pacers. Get a nice win. Hold on against the Bulls there. Beat a decent Dallas team and then drop a game to the worst team in the league. Harper, what are your takeaways here?
Just a confusing team. I gotta love it. But they continue to step up and play well against good teams in tough situations. That Mavericks game. It was very high in that game, and you're playing MVP caliber guys, and both Doncic and Kyrie, and holding your own. I mean, that was a fantastic game. And then to turn it around and just not even break 100 against the Spurs. I mean, we made them look awesome. Very confusing, but again, bounce back against the rival Bulls. That's just not a team that we want beating us. Win that series 3-1 for the season. Even though Zach LaVine was on fire, goes for 42, brutal. Couldn't do anything to stop that guy, but did just enough down the stretch to hold it together. It was, 2/3 of a fun week of basketball.
Yep. And so, yeah, as you mentioned, 3-1 now against the Bulls, so that gives us a tiebreaker, which could come into play later because we are currently tied with them record-wise. The Pacers could either be on the good side or the bad side of that, depending on your perspective on things. Colson, what did you see this week?
Well, we've just been playing good basketball. I think it was the halftime of the last Bulls game we played where we're just, looking like crap, and we came out and just murdered them in the second half. Played that epic game against the Celtics, beat up on the Magic. Go into, in Dallas, and I thought played a really good game. We were in control of that game until we went on a 6-minute scoring drought, but had enough of a lead and played enough defense down the stretch to pull that one out. And then just laid an egg in San Antonio. It's like, God. Sochan, 22 points. I've never heard of this guy, but I guess you don't mess with the Sochan.
No, you do not.
Sorry, is that a 90s joke? Does anybody... Adam's...
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah.
You're relevant.
Sure, definitely relevant.
The cutting edge humor.
Yeah. 26 shots for Sochan.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
The game. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the Dallas game was like really good. I thought we were going toe to toe with them, and like, we were talking, or you guys were talking about the game last week, and you predicted that Dallas was going to put up 160 on us or something like that, which I was like, yeah, probably. But I thought we did. I mean, we gave up 122, which is not like anything to write home about, but I thought defensively that was the difference in that game. Like, we actually kept Kyrie Irving somewhat in check and didn't let them go crazy on us.
Yeah.
Well, we did aggressive double teaming to get the ball out of the hands of both Doncic and Irving, which it's tough to do when you got to scramble to double two guys, and we did it pretty effectively. I mean, yes, they definitely... Doncic is amazing, and they definitely broke us down occasionally, but, I think, you go 6 minutes without scoring the ball, and you still win the game, it means you played a little bit of defense.
Right, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, that San Antonio game, I fortunately didn't watch that, but my guess is that, we saw a good chunk of basketball with the Pacers, sans Mr. Halliburton, and it was not fun to watch. And so I feel like any game without him is going to be trouble for this team.
Yeah, what was it, the first 40 games or whatever, we were in the playoff mix, and then Halliburton goes down with an injury. We hadn't won 2 games in a row since mid-January until this week. So
we still haven't. Oh no,
yeah, we did
That's
between
right.
the Magic and the
Orlando
Mavs game.
and Dallas.
Yeah. So he is our team. He's so instrumental to what we do. And I want to shout out Miles Turner has been playing absolutely excellent basketball. Do you want more rebounds? Sure, but he's scoring the ball. He's just so comfortable and confident right now offensively, and still giving us the blocks. And I thought Duarte had a standout week. He's been pretty much not on our radar all season long, and maybe finally starting to feel healthy. He hit 5 threes in that Chicago game, and I just think it's nice to see him getting more confident. They interviewed him after the game, and he said that this game was this was one of the most important games of the year for the team, because this is a tiebreaker and has playoff implications to get into the playoffs, and that made me very sad that the team is in there trying to figure out how to make the playoffs, but whatever.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on Jordan Nwora? Got his first start as a Pacer in this Bulls game. Has been on a decent clip. He's averaging double figures, I think, the last 4 games or something like that. Low double figures, mind you. But, just general thoughts on him. What are you seeing?
He's been incredible. He's been a lot more than I thought we would be getting out of him. I'm a little surprised that, in his 3rd year that he hasn't found a home prior to now. But getting a guy who can just come in and get hot and shoot threes for you off the bench is a huge thing for us to have on our depth chart when guys turn cold, because it's such an important part of what we do. He's a natural scorer. He's not afraid to get to the rim and draw contact. I mean, he looks confident. It's been fun to watch him come out.
Yeah, no doubt. And I feel like the first few games he looked completely lost, I thought, offensively. Mm-hmm. Didn't quite know where to be, but then, he's found his groove, I think, the last couple times. Like you said, getting his confidence. I think it's a special credit to Duarte. Colson, you mentioned him playing well. Because his minutes have been getting jerked around all over the place.
Yeah.
And he has been able to stay ready and contribute for the most part, which is good. We got a lot of depth on this team.
Well, when they brought in Wara, he kind of immediately took over that backup 4 spot, the bench 4 spot, and then Neesmith went out with a hip injury, and immediately gets placed in the starting lineup. Poor Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson, but we're just going small, and I agree with you. Juarez looked aggressive, and looks like he belongs. This is a guy we got for salary cap dumps. We also got George Hill, who started that game when Halliburton was out, played limited minutes, but I think we wanted to get a veteran out there.
Yep, nailed it.
Yeah, a lot of good that did us. But
boy, that is a shift in style of play.
Yeah, might have let Nembhard go ahead and run it, because we've had a lot of success. Well, with Connell for sure, but we've had success with Nembhard, as our starting point guard several times this season. Yeah, whatever. George Hill wants to teach, so let the man lose to San Antonio.
Yeah, what did anyone learn from that one?
You think this was a long con? Back to the trade where we acquired him or something like that? many years ago.
So he was like, I'll eventually find my way back to Indianapolis and lose to the Spurs for the Spurs.
Yeah, or Pop called in a favor.
An old favor.
Yeah, and it was like, look, dude, I understand we're supposed to lose, but we've dropped 16 straight.
Right. We have to win one, or it's going to start looking too obvious.
I'm out of red wine, so can we have one?
Yeah, Jalen Smith in that actually had a very good game against Dallas too.
Oh, he looked great against Dallas.
Yeah, flirting with a double-double, 11 points, 9 boards.
Yeah,
big game for him.
As our backup center, he looked really good. He was trying to earn
15
his
minutes
yeah.
too.
Yeah, and then immediately got 2 DNPs.
Right, exactly.
So it's not just Duarte who's had to deal with inconsistent minutes. We've done a lot with playing with the lineups this year. So
yeah,
everybody's job to stay ready.
Well, and the sauce, Brissett hadn't played for 2 or 3 games, and then comes out in the Chicago game and makes an impact. I think he's
looking
10
very
points.
fresh.
Yeah, 10 points in limited minutes and looked good. So
big throwdown.
Yeah, hit a 3, which he hadn't done in a while. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
I guess the guys are staying ready. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they've struck a nice balance of competitiveness, a good sense of competitiveness of people, fighting for jobs. All these guys are trying to, get minutes not only on this team, but it's a bunch of young guys that are
trying to stay in the league.
Anytime they can get tape on themselves, to get themselves the next contract or whatever, they're ready. And it doesn't seem to be obviously wrecking the locker room or anything like that. It's all very positive.
You watch the bench and they all seem to be rooting for each other and pulling for each other and yeah.
And even after the Spurs lost, Halliburton clearly got into the team and was unimpressed with the effort, but he's not a guy who's just going to yell at you, and he's a guy who's going to go out there and perform. Throws up 29, unbelievable step back game winner from Damian Lillard territory.
We didn't even mention that. Yeah, it was a 40 feet, 35 at least.
Started with a 3 for sure. That was deep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like one of those, is that a good shot? It doesn't matter. It went in,
Yeah. By definition, it was a good shot.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the old Paul George, right? That was a bad shot. Well, no, it went in.
Was it the Dallas game where he had like there was a possession? I don't think it ended up in a bucket or anything, but like the ball is just like fizzing around, and and Halliburton makes like 2 no look passes in the same possession. Do you remember?
Yeah, just like crazy.
He was just like in the zone. He was like seeing the Matrix. Like all the ones and zeros were just flying by. And he's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, he had some sick assists in that game. He's so fun to watch. And man, I just, we knew we were going to get some of the playmaking, but the 3-point shooting has just been tremendous. I mean, the guy's just so deadly. If if he's going to pull you away from the basket and have that kind of court vision, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the best I've seen it defended was, I think that Boston game. They basically just sit on his right hand because what he wants to do is jab step and then slide kind of back and right and then shoot, which is an odd move for a right-hander, right? And so they just sit on his right hand and don't let him go right. So that's something he's going to have to work on this offseason is like getting more creative going to the left or
the Bulls
coming up with some counter to
the
that.
Bulls saw that film too.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, it's spend the offseason getting stronger with the left. Because it's not just the shooting. It's also, he's a very good dribbler with both hands. But when he wants to get in the lane, he prefers to go right. And so, if you stay on his right hand, he struggles a little bit.
Yeah, he has trouble hitting that shot going left for sure.
And granted, it's only a little bit. He still put 29 and had 11 dimes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
they sat on his right, and he still scored 30 points. Yeah.
So, but just to point out that there is room for growth, I guess, at some level.
Yeah. He'll continue to get better, scarily.
Yeah, which is
although
amazing.
You guys were telling me he rolled an ankle at the end of that Chicago
Well,
game?
yeah, so actually it was really interesting. We were down 1, I think, and Halliburton takes a step back jumper, and Beverly gets underneath him, and he lands on his Beverly's foot, rolls his ankle. They called it a flagrant because it was clearly intentional. He put his foot underneath the landing zone. And so
it's clearly intentional if you're a Pacers fan.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's also because it's Patrick Beverly. He might not have gotten called that if it wasn't Patrick Beverly. Who knows? But he has a reputation. And so then Halliburton gets a free throw and the Pacers get the ball back. And Halliburton had a great dime to Turner, I believe. So, or it was Wara. But it was a 5-point play, essentially, which got us the room to win that game. So it was a really pivotal play. They came back and scored immediately, and it was but
more Levine just doing
Levine doing what he's doing. But it was a pretty pivotal play, and there was some question whether Halliburton would be able to even take the free throw. If he couldn't, then he couldn't come back in the game. And I guess no,
that's pretty bad.
If it's a flagrant, you can come back whenever. If it's just a common foul and you don't take the free throw, you're out for the rest of the game. So anyway, it was a flagrant. It wouldn't have mattered. But he was in that much pain. But he finished the game and hit the game winner from 35 feet. So
he wasn't coming out. He knew it was just going to tighten up if he went and sat on the bench. So
if
you're going to stick
amazing.
It out. There was so little time left. You don't come out of that game if you're going to finish.
There was still several minutes left. But you do wonder about what that looks like moving forward. We play the Sixers tomorrow. So when you're listening to this tonight, and then Rockets, Pistons. Is this a good time to rest that ankle? Or who knows if it flares up on him? Just something to look at, because we are a completely different team without him on the floor.
Yeah,
we are not a good team.
We
without
are barely a team without him on the floor.
So to give ourselves an update on the standings, so the Pacers are now 29-36, same record as the Bulls, but now with that tiebreaker ahead of them in the 11th spot in the standings. 2 games behind the Wizards for the 10th spot, the last play-in position there. So what is that? 36, 29.
2 games?
17 games left in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like you said, Colson, we play back-to-back at home against Philadelphia, a couple days off, then at home against Houston, and then Saturday at Detroit. I almost feel it's hard to ask you guys to make predictions because we don't know Tyrese's availability. But what are you thinking?
Well, no, I mean, I know the Sixers are good, but I'm not really afraid of them at our house. I feel like that's a win if we have Halliburton. The Rockets and the Pistons, like I feel like this is a 3-0 week if we have Halliburton, and if not, I'm going 1-2.
I mean, I'm a little scared of Philly. Philly just snapped the Bucks' 16-game winning streak at their house.
I don't care. Embiid's a little bitch, and so is James Harden.
Yeah, I'll take 1-2.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for the Rockets to win.
Yeah,
It's also hard for the business. I'm gonna go 2-1. I think that even despite our a lack of Halliburton, we can
Still pull a 2-1.
limit those teams to only slightly over 100. Maybe we actually hit a few threes.
We did not
Get
really
100
play
ourselves.
defense against Chicago, or we also
I mean, we haven't really played defense all year. So.
fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, what we have been working on clearly has been able to, the ability to recover from the double teams that we inevitably have to throw at stars, and we've shown some improvement there. So we don't need to turn into an offensive juggernaut tomorrow. We just need to keep getting better at the technical things, and work towards being on that string, right?
Right.
Where everybody is and everybody's moving together.
Yeah,
There's some work to do.
For sure.
there is.
This is a multi-year project, for sure.
Yeah. And we will talk on Thursday a little bit more about what the Pacers should do for these next 17 games. What are we
doing?
What are we?
We're 65 games in the season. We still don't know what we're doing. What's our plan? Are we trying to make the playoffs? The players are, that's for sure. Okay. We'll figure it out on Thursday. Until then, we want to thank you for listening to us. You can find us on Twitter. We're at Undebeatables. Well, at least as long as Twitter is around, we'll be at Undebeatables. We're on Facebook, also as long as that's around, / The Undebeatables. You can email us, shoutout at theundebeatables.com. That'll be around for, I bet that outlasts Meta and Twitter. And if you're over on the website, theundebeatables.com, there's a contact form. You can send a message. And while you're there, pick yourself up a small T-shirt.
As you were talking, I forgot we didn't shout out David Benner this week. He was the public relations manager for the Pacers for 25 years. And it was actually interesting when I was reading some of the stuff about him. I hadn't realized how long he had been that public relations manager, because my memory of him was as a Pacer, a beat writer. I remember reading him in the paper as a Pacer fan before I actually, before sort of the Pacers started having success in the mid-'90s. But basically, at that point, he was with the Pacers for that long. But my memory of him originally as the main indie star writer for about the Pacers. But I think you'll remember him, if you're listening to this, as the guy that Reggie Miller used to yell at to get hyped up before playoff games. But yeah, so he just recently passed. He had retired, I think, a year ago or 2 years ago.
Something like that,
for the Pacers. But it's sad to see him go. But a lot of wonderful things. Well, maybe we'll link to some of the articles about him. He was a very important man for this franchise for a long time. So, adding to the list of wonderful people we keep losing. Also, our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick Leonard. Turn out the lights. The party's over.
Forgot to mention the Washington Wizards signed an MVP.
Wait, what?
Oh, of the Australian Basketball League. Sorry.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I was well, we'll talk about it next show, but I was looking at their schedule. Now that they've signed this MVP, there's no way they're not going to the playoffs. This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that all of Washington is a buzz.
I can imagine just
the
walking
fact
down
that
the
you
street,
forgot-
everybody's just high-fiving each other.
Yeah, you walk outside and it's just joy in the streets.
Well,
People have a pep in their step, and
I assume you forgot to mention it because it's just you assume everyone knows it because you're just living in it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Usually we are the last to inform you. This time we just didn't. We just knew you.
Yeah, exactly. It's
What's this gentleman's name?
this is Sydney Kings forward Xavier Cooks.
Okay. All right.
Xavier, I like that name. Good
Xavier Cooks coming
he
for
is,
you.
27 years old in his fourth season, and he was the Finals MVP in 21-22 and the league MVP in 22-23.
Wow. All right.
All right, way to put another shrimp on the barbie.
Now we're cooking with gas.